welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and
Tyler Hymanson.
Oh! And we are here talking about...
Tonight, you're in for a treat. A very special episode of Chucky.
Oh, Chucky Season 2, which is currently premiering, I think it's on Tuesday nights on USA/Syfy, or wherever you can purchase it online or DVR it or whatever you do. But that's where it's airing.
But not Peacock.
That's right. It's not on Peacock.
For some reason.
I don't think it's actually streaming anywhere, yeah. But,
yeah, only through like apps that are through your cable provider.
Right.
Like you can use it on the NBC app if you have a Roku, a cable, and Spectrum, and blah, blah, blah.
Or maybe if you have like a Fubo TV subscription or something. But yeah, that's where it is.
Hulu Plus Live TV.
Ooh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, we talked about this last season, and it just premiered a few weeks ago, right around Halloween. We were excited that it got picked up, and as we like to do, especially with this one, since it's so insanely tied in with the film series, we got to do a follow up because it's like it's almost like missing
second
out.
longest franchise.
Yeah, totally, and it's like missing out on a movie almost if you don't watch the show, I think. And you'll hear us get more into it. But before we do, Eliz, where can people reach out to us?
Yeah, you can send us an email to sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Sequel Rights. And I finally caught up on all the Instagram pictures for episodes.
Right. Until this week.
Yeah. We'll see.
And please rate and review us wherever you're listening to us. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts goes a long way to help other people find us. Tweet out your Spotify links. Anything you can do to share to join our cult of Chucky.
That's right. And look, I'm not going to hide it. We drink sometimes during this podcast, and I forgot to open up my can. I'm opening it.
That's bad podcast form.
I'm opening it live on mic. Oh, so refreshing.
That was actually the soundboard.
Yeah.
Opening sound.
Yeah. I just did that whole thing.
We're now brought to you by Ocean Spray.
That's right. Ah, boy. All right. Well, why don't we get right into it with the second season of Chucky?
You will be placed in a facility with other violent juvenile offenders.
They could learn from their mistakes by thinking on their sins.
Welcome to Incarnate Lord.
You've suffered great pain in your young life.
Chucky's gonna come for us again.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It's been 3 days since my last confession.
Yes, right.
That's me in the corner.
We don't know how many Chuckies are out there.
Great. Another killer doll with a shady plan.
How many of you are there?
Wait, you got a knife? Yeah, I got a knife. They passed them out at orientation.
Oh, man. I love Brad Dourif as Chucky. It's so great. So much fun. So, Chucky Season 1. We left the last episode that we saw. We should say we're going to be talking about kind of like the first 5 episodes here.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of like, we're not going to like go crazy into detail on each one, but just to give you a heads up, like if you haven't watched the season yet.
Yeah, so like spoilers for season 1 and then the first 5 episodes of season.
Exactly.
So should we bridge the gap if the people that have watched no Chucky and only listen to this podcast where we talked about Chucky season 1?
Yeah,
we need to give a brief Chucky season 1 recap to set the stage for what we're talking about
I think
today.
we only watched the first
we did.
2 or something last time, and so Justin, I think, watched the entire rest of the season, and I also thought I had, and then I realized yesterday that I had never watched the season finale. I just thought the penultimate episode was the season finale. It was like a Game of Thrones situation. Cause I was like, oh wow, Junior killed his dad. He's a killer. Okay. All right. I guess that's it. End of the season. Wow. There was like an entire like movie theater butt stabbing massacre and Junior died died, and
Bran becomes king.
Yeah, it was the best story.
Lexi's
dad dies.
Killed.
Yeah, and
we also see that there's like a truck full of Chuckies.
Yeah, Andy maybe gets killed.
Trucky.
Yeah, we leave the season on a huge cliffhanger where like Andy's driving this truck.
Yeah.
Tiffany shows up out of nowhere.
Right.
You're kind of like, what the heck's going to happen? He's just like crazily driving this truck. Where are they going? What's going to happen? And that's kind of how it ends.
Yeah. So I totally, also saw all of that yesterday. So yeah, that's the show.
Yeah.
You got Chucky and Tiffany and Nika.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got all these new little kids.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it ended, season 1. So why don't we get into season 2, the premiere of which was called Halloween 2, which, like
Season
I said.
of the Witch. No, wait.
No. We recently watched Halloween 2, the second, and it was real bad.
The Rob Zombie one, yes.
Yeah, this episode was far better than that movie.
So much better.
Yeah.
Like I said, the show premiered around Halloween, and I think the first season had a big like Halloween sequence as well. And I love one of the things I love about this show is that like it looks so good. Like it looks way better than it should. I think like when not that like I feel like when you think of like, oh, they're making a Chucky TV show on Syfy. You think of maybe like some schlocky thing or something, but like the production value is like really great and it's very stylish. And honestly, when you see like the Halloween set in this, you're like, I feel like, does it look better than what we just saw in like Halloween Ends? I don't know.
This is not disparaging Don Mancini in any way, shape, or form, but like he's operating at a budget level that he's been operating at his entire life.
Yeah.
And like in some ways probably a little bit higher for this show, but just knows how to get I was going to say milk every square inch, which I was just like, I can't talk about milk on this podcast.
Milk that money. Yeah.
and then I slowed down my speaking, but no, just is so good about pulling every little bit of aesthetic quality from these shots, and it looks fantastic. And, working with his directing crew and everything else, but it's just so smartly made. The production value on all of this. It never once feels like, it's a TV show, or even Marvel shows. It's like, they didn't really have the budget to pull that off.
Well, they do use the Chucky puppet as much as possible, too.
Yes.
I mean, the puppeteers are credited really high up in the cast every single episode.
And it's like, and we'll get into it, but there's like multiple puppets, different variants and stuff. It's like, I was really excited about this because like we're finally getting the like realization of like multiple Chuckies, like in a real way.
The Chuckyverse.
And I think it was a little bit unclear, even though Don Mancini had said in subsequent interviews after some of those last few Chucky movies that they were not a hive mind. It's just more Chuckies. And so I guess they all kind of start in the same place and have to like catch up to each other in memory. And they make that pretty clear in this first episode because they don't really know Tiffany.
Right. Because we kick off right back in with Andy driving the truck. Some of the Chuckies have broken out and they clearly don't know him, don't know Tiffany. And like you heard in the trailer, they have that funny conversation about the knives.
The knives. So
the bald Chucky.
Some behind the scenes here. My co-host valiantly watched 5 episodes. Only watched 3 episodes of this because I don't read. My theory, and maybe this was clarified in episodes 4 and 5. But my theory, from what I picked up from watching this, especially this first scene. And it's kind of the brilliance of the Chucky lore is that, this is Charles Lee Ray, like the doll in its inception after the voodoo curse, like he's always going to be a homicidal maniac.
Yes.
Well, right. Unless he watches the thing too many times.
He's going to start out as a homicidal maniac.
But like it seems like it's reverting to the point of the curse for that is when these dolls gain sentience of...
Right, but they did seem to like eventually remember Andy because I think the curse has then re-happened so many times from that original one. But I think that the only one that had a relationship with Tiffany is the one that's in Nika.
Yeah, that's like
dormant.
Yeah, I think that he's still the like original
Charles Lee Ray, and all of these are like copies.
Yeah. voodoo copy.
Because they do, like, right before, like, spoiler alert, you know, Andy, like, drives the van off a cliff or whatever. But
Which, by the way, like, Andy, come on, there are better ways.
Yeah, I was like, is he going to jump out? No, oh no, he's just going to go down with the...
No, but like, he didn't even know if the thing would explode and really kill all the Chuckies. Like, you got to do a better job. If you're going to try to kill all the Chuckies in one fell swoop.
But they do, like, right before that, they do have a realization, like, Andy? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, there is some, like, memory that comes back.
Did we talk about the return of Andy did that happen in the episodes that we discussed in the first season? I don't know if it did.
If it did, it was just like a little hint.
Yeah,
I think maybe that him and Kyle were like driving around.
I think we should take a
Chuckies.
moment just to talk about sequel-wise that Chucky is probably the best in terms of the scale of the movies and the scope of them, of keeping the lore consistent.
The lore, yeah, sure.
And keeping and bringing back stars in ways that are engaging and within the rules of that franchise.
Yeah, sure. Definitely one of the best, if not the best.
It's honestly like I was watching this season, and I really like it a lot. I think the show is so much fun. But I was kind of like, part of me was like, who is this show for? Because like
us. It's for us.
It's for us. But it's like, yeah, because it really demands you to have seen every single movie, especially the later ones,
right?
Which I don't know if as many. You know, I guess I don't know. Like maybe they have huge audiences, and like there really is a cult of Chucky and all that stuff.
I mean, this thing got a second season.
It's true. Yeah,
there are enough people that understood or did not care who Nika was watching season one that wanted a season 2.
But it's like. It is like it is way more. It is so dense with the lore.
It is
that it is even at points where I'm like, we'll talk about it too, because there's some things where I'm like confused about how meta it gets and like what's going on. But I think it's really impressive that it really does not hold your hand much at all. It's like, you better have watched all those movies,
right?
And we're not going to shy away from like literally everything that happened previously.
So I think that there's an element of that. I also think that these movies, it's like, it's a killer doll and whatever, like people are going to enjoy it at that top level. It's like, there's lore, I guess, and it's not this. I think that the way that I look at it is that they're not discounting anything from these previous movies where it's like, oh, that's kind of silly or whatever happened. It's like, no, that was an important thing, and we're going to build on that some more. And it's more treasuring all of those choices in a way that I don't think that is a barrier to entry for the people that just want to see a doll murder some folk.
That's true, and I know you didn't see episode 4, but they do make mention of that because like this season is even more lore heavy than the first season, like because anything involving Jennifer Tilly, like, and she is like basically like the episodes are almost split half and half between like what's going on with her, and she's in it's like a totally separate almost thing that's going on with her because she's not yet that we've seen connected with the kids story.
Other than she's not sending the dolls. The other Chuckies are sending the dolls.
I mean, she was at the Frankenstein square.
Yeah, they're not helping at all anymore.
So I think they will connect at some point, but they haven't. They haven't like this entire season so far. It's been a totally separate storyline that is very lore heavy compared to what's going on with Jake and Devin and Lexi.
Yes, and for anyone who doesn't remember, Jennifer Tilly, the human body is
we'll post a flow chart on the website.
Tiffany Valentine, who was a crazy girl that went into the doll, then went into Jennifer Tilly, and Jennifer Tilly's spirit is currently in the Tiffany doll.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
was that revealed, I mean, later on in the season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I think we
kind of knew that.
We always
from the
knew
movies.
she had to be somewhere.
Yeah, because in the movies, and there is even like for the first time ever for episode 4, they do like a previously on, and it shows clips from Bride of Chucky.
Okay,
yeah, and see the Chucky.
Yeah, and they do show her doing the like Dumbledore thing, like switch places. Yep. So like we knew that Jennifer Tilly was in the Tiffany doll, but we just hadn't known where she was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Until episode 5.
Because, when we see the Tiffany doll at the end of the first season, she's trying to destroy all of the Chucky dolls.
Mm-hmm.
And that was confusing to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Well, okay, so the first episode, all these kids are orphans now, essentially, and so they all have foster parents.
So I'm just
Chucky
waiting for them
killed
all-
almost every single parent.
all the parents
Chucky
are dead.
killed 7 out of the 8 parents.
Yeah, including 2 different versions of Devin Sawa.
Oh, wait, no, sorry. 6 out of the
Junior-
7
I guess Junior
parents
killed
because,
someone.
yeah, they're, I don't think Devin had a father that we knew of.
Right.
Yeah, so, and Devin Sawa twice. So, the only person left is Lexi's mom, the former mayor. And then Devin and Jake are both in foster care with foster parents. And Jake has probably I don't want to talk bad about foster siblings or the foster system, but this kid
You're going to talk bad about Gary right now?
real dumb and annoying. He is incapable of dropping the Batman gag for one conversation, and it's a lot.
There is a lot of orphans though, and you would think that one of them would become a Batman.
That's true.
So
That's
Or
you're
Robin.
Right, you're right.
Yeah, he was the Robin. Yeah.
This kid was funny though. Literally everything he said was holy exploding bomb, Batman! All this.
Yeah.
And Chucky even calls him out on it.
Yeah. I did like how though when Jake kissed Devin and the parents were all horrified because they're anti-gay, the little kid was oh cool, whatever. He just made another Batman
I think
joke.
he said holy secret identity.
Yeah. But he wasn't mad about it.
Yeah.
He was just all right,
which that was sweet.
I get
they did
it.
a good job with their with that.
He's just a cute. I thought it worked. It worked for me that he was
No.
a cute kid that Jake felt protective of because they were together in the same family and the parents sucked.
And I think it starts to intercede the idea early on in this second season that even though Jake almost turned to the Chucky side, I guess, last year, eventually it was Junior that did it and Jake didn't. So they're just reminding you Jake's actually just a softie. He's not going to be the one that turns to Chucky no matter what, even though he was the main character. It's just not in him.
Which I really appreciate the way that the show is engaging with those themes of violence, of allowing for a place to revel in it, but then also having a main character that is resistant to it and has every reason, is presented with multiple reasons in the first season to be justified, in horror movie logic to end people in that way and never really giving into it. And I like what they're doing this season with Lex's character of someone who is a complete bully, who in most horror movies by that logic would be dead, to have a full story and a more developed character.
Yeah, I have to say though that the one arc that's really not working for me in this season is her drug addiction. I'm sorry. It's just a little bit
I did love
much.
the bit where Chucky has lured them all into the house because he wants to kill them, together. And she's upstairs because she is, snorting her drugs. And they're also there we'll kill you all as soon as she comes downstairs.
Yeah.
Any minute now.
He's literally what the fuck?
I did love that very much.
Yes, but as it keeps going, I'm kind of all right, I get it. She's addicted to drugs. It's one of the few storylines that's not really commenting or subverting what we would think about these horror.
I will say, friends out there that maybe have addiction problems, if you're the friend who's sitting in the bathroom too long, we all know, we all care about you. You can come out and say hey.
What if they just have IBS or something?
Well, look, talk to your friends about your IBS as well. I have that. And sometimes you just gotta go. It's fine. I'm not trying to make weird bathroom things a thing. Spend all the time in there you want. It's your time. Take it back.
I initially was I don't know, would she have done that? But then it's when you think about what she went through, and we do jump 6 months ahead, and so you think of all because her dad died and everything she's dealing with.
I know,
and then I do like that I do like that they're really giving it full weight though. It wasn't she's doing drugs for one
that's
episode.
a good point.
I like that it's really it is really her main arc for the season, and it's being given multiple episodes. It's not she suddenly is cured all of a sudden. She's dealing with it. She's making new friends,
right? Which we'll talk about.
Through that. and finding like new people to lean on and stuff. And so I do kind of like that. It's not like, oh, they just gave her a drug addiction for whatever.
I see your point, but also like, I guess I just like the part of the show I don't like is when it gets really serious and they play like a dramatic licensed song from like Billie Eilish or something, and then they do a montage and she's doing drugs and he's really sad and the other kid's really sad, and then Chucky is like laughing at something, and then the end, that's it. Yeah, I'm kind of like, okay.
Fair. But I feel like that is the target audience for these.
Yeah, I guess so. You got to keep the kids
and
interested.
I also think that they handle it with care.
Sure.
And to Justin's point, I do think that, you know, I know this person. I was friends with this person in high school. Like that is very realistic to me that given everything that they've been through, that there be addiction problems. And I think that the show does a decent job of addressing that on its own terms, and I do commend it for that as much as it's narratively cliche.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true.
But it's true to the characters.
Yes. So Chucky gets this whole thing going where he blows up the house and kills the annoying brother.
Yeah, we're the kind of main thrust of this season is like, you know, there was this truck full of Chuckies.
Trucky.
There was a Chucky. It went over a cliff. We don't know exactly what happened because it cuts away and it cuts to 6 months later. So now there's this question of like, you know, did they all die? Okay, now there's another one, and how many are there out there still? And I love that, like, you know, there's this Chucky that shows up after they don't know if he's alive or whatever. He shows up, and I love that there's this dynamic of like, there's enough of him left that like him just, you know, blowing himself up right now is worth it because there's, you know, still enough Chuckies left to do whatever else happens if he has to, you know, if he fails or whatever.
But the amount of Chuckies left is extremely unclear and a point of contention in every single episode.
Yep.
Yes.
Every time they get a Chucky, they're like, how many of you are left? And it's like, I'm not telling you.
And I love that, you know, the first death of the season is a straight up precocious child.
Yeah.
Although I just wanted to play with a bomb.
I am curious. Like, so he's talking about like he's made like a improvised explosive with a coffee can, and he's like, it's amazing what you do with some fertilizer or some butane. And it seemed like it was supposed to be like a big explosion, but like a green gas explodes. And it's like, has that been addressed? Like, it seems like it was a Joker plot, or like he put them all under some sort of drug spell.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Nothing has come back from that yet.
It would not shock me if it just cuts to, it's just like they were all knocked out by that bomb, and everybody's alive and they're still in that living room.
maybe they just researched, like, you know, maybe the VFX people researched like what would an explosion from these kind of things actually look like, and maybe it was like a green.
And they were like, it would be green, and then it would have the face of Chucky as it as it rose to the sky, because that's what happens.
Well, and another thing that's really established amongst the three teens is that they've all agreed that like there is no point in trying to tell anyone about Chucky, and it's the horror movie thing where you're like, why don't they go to the police? Why don't they tell somebody? But like, this series more than any other horror movie has shown how much that does not work. Like, what's her face from Seventh Heaven is probably still in the insane asylum. Andy's mom.
Because the second movie is all about him being into foster care because nobody would believe Andy.
Yeah,
and I think
his mom. Yeah.
Like that childhood trauma carrying over is one of the strongest threads for this entire series.
Yeah, so they all agree to not tell anyone, and so because of that, they're about to get carted off to juvie, but instead they have to go to a Catholic school.
The Catholic School of the Incarnate Lord.
Yeah.
Which we're reminded is the same place that Charles Lee Ray was as a young boy.
Yes, but not the same place that Andy went in the third movie.
Not the
because that was a military
academy. It's
military
school, but it's like it's a
but
similar
it's same
vibe.
Same vibes.
Yeah. I think that the one other thing that is introduced in the first episode that probably will come back at some point is that there is Lexi and her family are seeing a therapist, and the therapist gives her sister a doll that very suspiciously looks like all the Chucky dolls and is named Belle.
Right. I think that is the
Wedding
doll
Belle.
that Tiffany made herself out of originally in Bride of Chucky, or whatever that movie, right? That's what it's called? Bride of Chucky?
Yeah.
Yep. It was a Wedding Belle doll, and then she styled it to look like Tiffany.
Father of the Chucky.
Yeah. And so, when is the reveal about Nika? Was that at the end of the last season or the beginning of this season?
The reveal about
the dismemberment.
Dismembered.
Yeah.
End of last season.
Okay.
Because I didn't see that.
Got it. So yeah, she has, she was already paraplegic and now she has no arms or legs at all. Which tough break for her.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It almost makes me wonder if Fiona Dorff couldn't be there fully, so they just did facial capture on her.
I don't know. It seems like she's there. She's in a bunch.
It looks pretty good.
A lot.
She's doing a lot.
I was just
they're giving her scenery to chew.
Yeah.
And
I kept thinking about the moments when she is has a ball gag in her mouth and she can't do anything. I was just like, this is horrifying. Like that kept coming back into my mind. Like if you had no arms and legs and also a ball gag.
Yeah.
I was just like, that was giving me lots of anxiety.
They're just, that is another thing that I love of giving Fiona Dorff so much to do and just the ability to, like, there's a point where she has no arms and no legs. It's all her face. And it is the moment where we realize that she is still in league with Chucky.
Right.
And there's a crazy camera move that goes around her. And she goes from being, completely subjugated Nika to completely, under Charles Lee Ray's spell. And she is having so much goddamn fun acting that scene out. I love it.
I love watching her do the impersonation of her dad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I can't remember last season. I know that I thought it was like something like violence would bring out Chucky, but like, was there literally this thing where she could just cut her hand, or anytime she sees blood, she would turn into
I'm not
Chucky?
sure. It was inconsistent to me.
Yeah, I can't recall.
Remember. Yeah, but Chucky's in there still.
I felt like it was maybe a Cult of Chucky throwback that we don't quite recall.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Listeners out there, if you're just catching up, let us know.
She can definitely call out Chucky out of her whenever she wants.
Yeah. But we'll talk about it. But yeah, every time I think like, oh, they're going to ignore this part of the lore or I'm confused or whatever, if you just wait, it comes back and they explain it. So I don't know.
I will say, if we want to talk a little bit about lore, there's one thing that I was confused by, because I feel like there's I don't remember which episode it's in, but there's one episode where the kid characters reference the Bride of Chucky movie.
Yeah, right.
Like it's an actual movie.
Yeah.
That they've seen.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So my question is, if The Bride of Chucky is a movie in this universe, why do people not believe that the Chucky doll?
I don't think it was called Bride of Chucky. I think it was something else.
I mean, they say
so. I think that this gets back to,
but that's the movie that Jennifer Tilly was in,
right?
And then Tiffany takes over.
But doesn't that start with a Chucky movie being filmed with Jennifer Tilly?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
That's not Bride of...
And the poster for that movie is in Jennifer Tilly's...
The
fake poster for that movie is
That's
there.
why I'm saying I'm confused. I don't know if it's called Bride of Chucky. I think it was...
They say it's like, oh yeah, that happened in the Bride of Chucky movie. Or whatever. They say that. The kids say that. So
I think there's like an alternate, like, multiverse. Not multiverse, but like,
I think it's just
Chucky
one
movies.
movie, and it starred Jennifer Tilly. John Waters was involved.
Right,
it's Seed of Chucky, in which they have the movie within the movie.
So so in this world, it's like, so in this world, there was one Chucky movie, and so people wouldn't believe them about Chucky being real because it was just a movie.
I guess so.
I guess so.
Yeah.
And it's unclear how much of that movie... I can't remember if it actually like went into Charles Lee Ray and the possession, or if it was just a doll that came alive for some reason.
It was the Mark Hamill Child's Play.
Not that one. Even though that one had a good song.
It did.
Oh God. Okay. So they're off to Catholic school, not military school.
Yep.
And for some reason, Devon Sawa is back again.
Yeah.
And no one's like, hey, that guy looks like my dad.
He says it once. He says, Father really reminds me of my own dad. But that's it. So it doesn't seem like it's going to be a thing that there was a triplet or something like that, Because
I knew he was in the season, and I was wondering if they were going to reveal that he was like a long lost brother or something.
Yeah, but nope.
He's just the father of the school. We also get introduced to a bunch of other new characters. We've got Nadine is Lexi's new roommate.
Mm-hmm. She is like literally the exact same person that she was in Mighty Ducks, except now in just a different series.
Yep.
Like they literally just plucked a girl out and we're like, well, but now horrible things can happen and Chucky's here and you're no longer on Disney Plus. And she's like, okay. And she's just doing the exact same character.
I really thought that when she went to confession, she was going to be like, I lied about like kleptomania. Like, I'm a murderer.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be
I thought she was
really
going to be
bad.
way darker.
I mean, she still could be, but yeah, she's great. She's hilarious.
Yeah. She's pretty funny.
She is the innocent one, amongst all the chaos at this
Right. And she keeps like trying to be real Catholic and going to confession. And the priest is just like, he would rather die than listen to her talk for 2 more seconds. Like, that's how much this girl is like.
She's there all the time.
Yeah.
Cause she's really trying. I did love that scene where, they're introduced to the church service and like they're doing communion. And they're like, are we supposed to go up there? And they're like, well, are you Catholic? She's like, are you Catholic? And she's like, no. Oh, well, then you can stay here with me. And she's like, oh, well, you're not Catholic? And she's like, no, I am, but I sinned this morning.
Yeah. That's the conversation you have to have with all your friends at every wedding. That's
right.
a Catholic. Be like, oh, wait, aren't you Catholic? Why aren't you going up there? And they're like, I haven't gone to confession in 8 months or whatever. And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. I don't get it. Lutheran, you just take the communion whenever the heck you want. So.
So much like in Child's Play 3, which is the one that takes place at the Kent Military School, we do see suddenly there's a mysterious delivery.
Yeah, people just keep delivering that USX, their fake FedEx that they've been using now for many parts of this franchise.
There's a second delivery like in the next episode, and I was like, is that literally the same shot? Because it looks like it looks almost exactly the same.
You know, I do want to interject very quickly how much Chucky talks about how much Uber has allowed him to do evil.
Right.
That is so,
which I enjoy.
That was hilarious because you're always like, how does he get around?
Yeah.
Right. I also did like in this second episode, when Chucky kills his first nun, he says, "Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna pray?" Like that was really funny.
He says it
did
exactly
I ruin
like
it?
this.
Sorry.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna pray?
Wow, actually, am I?
It was pretty good.
A dwarf and didn't know?
I love like that line delivery is so great because it's like it's a cheesy line, but he says it in a way that's like, I know
it's a pun.
I know this is a bad pun, and I'm gonna
play on words.
I love it too because she died literally of a heart attack, and he was like, "Oh, like you made my day."
Just the sight of me scared you enough. It's like I know that was so great. And she's like, she's holding up a cross and he's like, that's for vampires, right? It's like, I mean, it's just like, the character is so great.
It's for horror nerds. Yes, that's what the show is for.
I just love it.
So, like, what was episode 3 even about, though?
So
that's the one
we
I
ended with the twins arriving at the end. I did not see their faces.
Oh, that's when she's watching, was it Liar Liar?
She's watching Liar Liar
over and over again.
all the time.
Yeah.
It's playing out the Jennifer Tilly roles.
Right. She kills the police officer that's looking for Nika.
Yep. So I think one of the
Chucky's taking selfies of people running around taking
and they
photos.
don't understand
I don't know why.
And one of the main thrusts of the episode 3 is that they have captured the first Chucky arrives, kills the nun, and they've captured this Chucky, and
there's another Chucky that like scrambled up a chimney.
I think that was the same one.
Okay.
But they like capture him, and they decide that like, what if we could like reset him somehow?
It's a big thing between Devin's like, just fucking kill it, please.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, no, like I need to know what's going on here.
Yeah, because they're trying to figure out, they got his cell phone. They see that he's like receiving phone calls from someone called the Colonel. Mm-hmm. And so they want to know like how many Chuckies, like
they need to conduct a Chucky census.
Yeah, like I said, we don't know how many Chuckies, who's the Colonel, like what are you guys doing? What's the plan? And so they like strap him in and like put these like, pins in his eyes.
They clockwork orange him.
Yep, exactly.
And they show him John Carpenter movies.
They make him watch, I was like, Tyler, would you, if you had to watch the thing over and over again, would you be brainwashed? Yeah.
Would I be desensitized to the violence? Mm-hmm.
I did think
listeners
it was an
can chime
choice.
in on this.
Yeah. I was like, well, I thought that they should show him like, unicorns and rainbow and stuff like that, which they do eventually,
yeah.
but they first show him like a bunch of...
I thought that it was kind of fun in that they were showing some classic horror sequences of like some of the most like, oh my god, what the fuck, probably from Don Mancini's.
He's like, no, the dog, no.
Yeah, like they showed a bunch of repeat, and I don't know which the movie it was. I wanted to look it up before, with the power lines of the guy grabbing onto it.
I couldn't remember that either.
But yeah, just classic scenes and like shocking, violent scenes, but from my favorite movies, so I love them.
I guess I kind of forgot, like, and when in the lore is it established that Chucky has like bodily fluid? I mean, I guess he has sperm because he impregnated Tiffany, but since when can he just puke everywhere?
In 2.
And he needs to eat?
Yeah.
2?
Yeah,
I totally forgot all of this.
In the Chucky Factory 1.
Yeah, which is number 2, I think.
Yeah, I think that some of that stuff was established.
Okay, so he needs to eat? I think it had to do
with, they have to eat. I think it has to do with, like, the longer he's in the bodies, the more it, like, becomes...
okay, the more he becomes, like, a doll. And
because,
like
because there's the Tiffany head that's decapitated.
Right,
They start having blood.
If you decapitate them, they're still, like, sentient, usually. Yeah. But, yeah, you have to, like, fully destroy the head.
Anything that... I think at this point it's like, if they're possessed, they're not, like...
Because it puked so much. Yeah. Like, just...
I love, there's a, there's just so many... drugs! There's just so many, in this one, it's fun with all these different Chuckies because there's all these variant Chuckies, and I don't know, like, what was achieved with some VFX and what was achieved with, like, an entirely new puppet or whatever. But there's so many ones, and, like, I love this moment when, like, they reveal... that this Chucky has like been brainwiped or whatever, and he's got this like really messed up look on his face. Yeah, and he has this. I just saved this. It's just the way he just says the normal thing, but it's like really messed up sounding.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
And I'm like, this is a chance like as well for like Brad Dourif to like really kind of stretch himself. He's like, because now he gets to play this good Chucky.
He's unmoored.
So now we have good Chucky.
Which is also creepy.
Yes, right. It's so creepy. But I also love the idea that there's like a good Chucky. Maybe I don't know. Like
Well, and Nadine and Jake are like really into it, and Devin and Lexi are definitely not.
Yeah, like because Nadine also has a thing for like stuffed animals and stuff.
Yeah, she likes her cat. She likes cute things.
And so she's like every time she sees him, she's like,
oh, she has red hair, so she likes Chucky. Yeah,
like they give him an apple at one point, and then she
eats it real creepily.
It just. Oof. But I do think it's interesting this schism between Jake and the other two who have been through the same trauma. Absolutely. But
well, because I think that Jake is feeling it more. Like Jake is the most prone to violence of the two of them, and that's what he is fighting against.
Yeah, and
like he really wants to give in to that revenge,
right? And Devin is very much more like, they killed everyone.
Yeah, just let it go.
They're all bad. Like, no.
Right.
I mean, they've never experienced a good Chucky before. We've never experienced a good Chucky.
Well, because it's the line between just ending it and torture.
Yeah.
And Jake's like, no, we should torture the fuck out of him.
And I am enjoying the mining of new Chucky territory with this good Chucky that, like, is dealing with, like, am I inherently bad? Like, can I even be good? Like, what if I was made from a
Westworld or Chucky? Like,
do I have free will?
Am I on a loop?
He's about to be voiced by James Marsden.
These violent delights have violence.
I mean, there's we get introduced to Swole Chucky.
So buff Chucky.
That's got like.
So we got Buff Chucky, but how did he get buff? That's what I'm like. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
His voice is like, "Hey, I'm Chucky." It's like lower, and he punches a hole through this dude.
He Mortal Kombat's Trevor.
He does that, which was fine.
I thought that was great. But as far I was actually surprised. The I think we might be skipping ahead an episode or something, but because there's kind of a detour in episode 4. But I actually thought that the good Chucky was going to just die because he goes up against Swole Chucky. Yeah. But he actually ends up killing Swole Chucky. So that's why I'm saying I've been enjoying that, like, they're actually going deeper into that story of, like, what is good Chucky and what does that mean?
Right. Yeah. I think it'll be interesting. I mean, in the first season, we saw Charles Lee Ray as, like, a little kid, but then we kind of left that behind. So maybe we'll get back to that.
But he was, like, bad immediately.
I imagine it's going to come back to what happens at that school, and I imagine there's some shit that's going to go down at that school.
Yeah.
Probably,
and it is very
probably by
interested.
another Devon Sawa.
The show is very interested in like religion for sure, because that's why it's at a Catholic school and not at the military school from the third movie or whatever. And like, there was a lot of things that Chucky was saying in the season finale of last year, like about Dembala and all these things that I was like, oh, okay, we're like really gonna get into this. Like, you know, obviously it's just a made up demon thing, but like they appear to be quite interested in hashing out exactly like what is Dembala or whom.
Yeah. I mean, the stuff that happens in the stuff we see in episode 5 that was making me wonder, like, are there like religious groups like protesting this show? Because it's like,
I think they've given up on Chucky after all this time.
Well, you really, I mean, honestly, they'll protest about anything. So.
Well, we'll turn to the Common Sense Media reviews.
Oh my god, yes.
A Bible is destroyed and thrown at a cross in the sanctuary in this.
I did like when Devin was ripping on the pages of the Bible.
Like,
that was
bullshit,
hilarious.
Bullshit.
Really funny. Okay, so Tyler, as established, did not watch episode 4.
That's correct.
I was gonna say, I was so, originally we were gonna have this episode go earlier, and we were only gonna talk the first 3 episodes, and as I was watching them and I got to episode 4, I was like, oh my God, I'm so glad that we like watched a couple more, because episode 4 is just like, it's really out there, and very different.
I mean, it's so meta that there are many things that even I don't fully understand.
Yes.
Like,
I had to look up some things.
Yeah, which I'm assuming are all from a movie that is not even a part of this franchise.
Yeah.
Like, so
I will just say that
is it Nika focused?
She's there.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you
is it a description of Blues Brothers?
Glenn and Glenda arriving at the home.
Did not see their faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the episode that starts with previously on showing clips from the Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky.
Yeah.
Previously on fucking Chucky.
To remind you that Jennifer Tilly is Tiffany.
Okay.
And we immediately dive into something that I was not expecting.
Okay.
And I actually played a clip from it earlier, but I also have this clip just because hopefully you guys are enjoying the podcast.
Nice to see you again. I hope you're enjoying the new season of my hit show.
So yes, we get a talk show framing device.
Okay.
Chucky has a talk show.
Yeah.
That's called Chucky. And we cut in on him, like arguing with the guy, like his agent behind the scenes, like, you gotta get I can't eat walnuts, they give me hives. Like, I demand chocolate chip cookies with macadamia.
Yep. And we get, like, Wedding Bell is just there to be like Chekhov's wedding bell. Remember, there's another doll somewhere, and it's
very meta. He's like, he is talking about the show, and he's like, fans are wondering like what you're up to. You want to tell us what you're up to? And then it just cuts to her, and she sits there, and he's like, huh, okay, interesting. And then he sets up the episode of Chucky,
and then it gets set up, and it's a whole.
It's a Jennifer Tilly mystery
murder
episode.
mystery.
Okay.
And
we've
got
act break things.
Yeah, act break like cards, like silent movie cards or whatever. And it's so okay. So Glenn and Glenda are like at least 21 because they're openly drinking and no one like says anything. Sure. I thought they would be much older by now, but I guess they're not. They're both non-binary.
Yeah.
And I was having trouble remembering like how they even became two separate people because they both started off in the one doll, but I went back and looked it up, and I guess Jennifer Tilly gave birth to twins and they put Glenn and Glenda in
I vaguely remember that
body.
Yeah.
But then by this property, I'm not sure what happened to the souls of those children.
Right.
Or something. But, so Glenn and Glenda are grown up. They're there. And they're upset that Tiffany has been like they make a lot of Sunset Boulevard jokes that she's been holed up for a year because she's been keeping Nika hostage. But they don't know about it.
And they don't know that they think she's Jennifer Tilly? Or do they think that
this whole time think their mom is Jennifer Tilly?
Yes.
Got it.
Everyone in the episode thinks it's Jennifer Tilly.
Got it.
Yeah.
And there's a whole host of famous guest stars.
Yeah. So who do you think?
Okay.
Tyler, who do you think comes to it's a surprise party. Glenn and Glenda surprise Jennifer Tilly. She's mad, but she has to roll with it.
Oh boy.
It's a surprise party. Who could be at this party that is connected to they're all I'll give you a hint that they're all connected to Jennifer Tilly in some way. Big name people.
David Lynch is there.
Oh god. That would be incredible.
Wish. Jim Carrey is there.
No. God, we wish. Okay, so it's like two famous prior co-stars of Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah, and one of them has been in movies we've talked
Sequel
about.
rights movies.
Okay.
Yeah, multiple ones.
Okay. So we're not talking about Bound.
Maybe we are.
Who's there?
Someone from everyone's favorite film, Baby's Day Out, is there.
Yes.
Someone you like, I think.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Someone who sometimes doesn't wear pants. People who have watched the show will know what we're talking about.
Donald Duck.
No.
Come on. Should we just say it at this point?
Please
the star of Bad Boys.
Joey Pants is
Joey Pants is there.
Joey Pants is there playing himself.
Yeah.
So I think it had come out that Joey Pants was going to be in an undisclosed role at some point. I never did I imagine it would be as Joey Pants.
So
and
they
literally referred to him like Glenn and Glenda are like Mr. Pants.
I think they say Uncle Pants.
Uncle Pants, yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah, they call everyone like auntie and uncle because these are all Jennifer Tilly's friends. So they're like Uncle Pants. and
then there's a joke. There's a joke later in the episode where someone calls him Joey No Pants or something.
Yeah,
because he has his pants down.
And so then going back to Bound, we also have
who else from Bound could be there?
I haven't seen Bound. Have you seen Bound?
I haven't seen Bound. But the other main person.
Yeah, Tyler seems to act like he had seen it, but now he can't remember her name.
I'm blanking on names. I'm being put on the
So
spot.
Auntie Gina Gershon is there.
Yeah, okay.
And then we have someone from a reality franchise. Can you try to guess what franchise?
Yeah.
Is it a poker franchise?
No, but they do talk about the poker a lot.
Okay.
But we have, I don't know who this chick is because I stopped watching Beverly Hills Housewives way before this lady was there, but her name is Sutton Strack.
Yep.
That's all she's known for, right?
The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Yeah, and I'm not sure why she's there. They make fun of it a bunch of times. They're like, why is this lady here?
Because she lives in Beverly. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and then finally, I mean, the one that you're like, well, she's got to come, right? And she arrives a little bit late, but it's someone that's really important in the life of Jennifer Tilly.
Her sister!
Meg Tilly.
Meg Tilly. She's also there.
Yes.
And yeah, it's kind of like, it's Tiffany's worst nightmare because, she's trying to,
she doesn't have Jennifer's real memories.
Yes,
right.
She's trying to like pull this off.
Pretend and also hide that Nika's in the back room with no arms and no legs.
Yep. She, it's really kind of funny because, Jennifer Tilly, the actual actress, is like doing this like very manic performance of like, oh, I'm
like a manic Sunset
I'm mad
Boulevard.
that you're here, but also like excited because you're Jennifer Tilly's friend.
Yeah.
So, like,
it's also
Joey
revealed that
Pants
she doesn't
and
even
Gina
know how to
Gershon.
play poker. That like Tiffany's had to tell her what to do and all the poker things.
Yeah.
But
it's pretty hilarious. And like Joey Pants is dressed like as you'd expect him to be dressed.
Kangol.
Yeah, and then there's like this random butler that she hires to like guard Nika's room, and then he gets into a lot of really racist stuff against Italians and argues with Joey Pants about like Italian stereotypes.
Oh boy.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he gets killed, and then she decides to pivot the entire party to make it seem like it's an immersive murder mystery.
Yeah,
party.
like she had planned this whole murder mystery.
That's fun.
Yeah, because the guy who she hired, who's like an improv actor or something, who she called Jeeves the entire time. It's like, I told you to stand up front of this door, Jeeves. Yeah, he's suddenly dead. The door where Nika was the room is open and Nika is not there. And, she had been in a ball gag and a wheelchair, can't go anywhere. So it's a mystery of who killed Jeeves and where
is Nika.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do we discover?
We do, but there's lots. This
hijinks ensue.
This is the one that is like super meta.
It's so meta. Like Gina Gershon has been carrying on a relationship with Jennifer Tilly.
Yep.
And so has Joey Pants, and then they fight over her.
Sure.
Let's see. Glenn, it's revealed that
I really
Glenn
nailed it
and
with
Glenda,
the Bound reference.
Yeah. Glenn and Glenda discovered Nika at some point and are now trying to help her escape.
Yes.
Okay.
We get told this like in very, eventually it's like flashes back towards the end.
Yeah.
In classic, like, let's reveal what really happened.
And if you remember from
Communism
Seed of
was just a red
Chucky,
herring.
which I actually also had to look up, Glenn is like the nice one that doesn't want to do
doesn't wanna
bad
kill.
things,
Yep.
and Glenda is a little bit more like the parents.
Yeah, and they've been having nightmares
Right.
of like we see clips of them like killing.
Yeah, they can't really remember
Got it.
being in the doll.
Yeah,
they can
they're
only
like-
remember like once they were
They're
human.
like, someone was calling me shithead. And
Yeah, like, I feel like we murdered someone in a fire. Like,
Right,
like,
right.
which I think was the John Waters kill that they were remembering. Yeah.
They're literally showing clips from that movie.
Yeah. Why isn't Uncle Waters here?
Yeah. But yeah, Glenn and Glenda are gonna take Nika out, and they have figured out that it's like not really Jennifer Tilly as well. So they're like, we don't even know who our mom is. And it's kind of like, even though it's so insane, like, the Glenn and Glenda actor is actually doing like a really good job of like making you believe this like turmoil of like, I'm these non-binary twins that are having these bad dreams and we're very codependent on each other, but also we're very different. And also we don't even know who our parents are. Like,
that's tough.
So, yeah.
There's more insane things that happen in this. And another person dies.
Okay.
Who do you think is the other person that dies?
How many times can Devon Sawa die in a season? Twice is what we've established, so he probably dies at least once in this episode.
Well, this episode does not cut to the kids
this
at
is
all.
all Jennifer Tilly. So someone else at this party dies. We told you everyone who's there. Who else? Who do you think dies?
Ooh, Joey Pants.
He does.
Yes.
He's found in the elevator with multiple gunshots.
Sure.
And one right through the head.
Yeah. So Joey Pants is now canonically dead.
Yeah.
Chucky.
Since
Chucky
this takes
verse.
place in the real
I imagine
world.
Gina makes it.
Gina
She
makes
does.
it.
Yeah.
Gina's actually the one who kills Joey Pants.
Okay, good.
Because she catches him with his pants down. And she like...
Yeah, she holds him up at gunpoint and she's like, but do you really love her? And he's like, what is the answer you want me to say?
You gotta watch this. I think you would like it.
I will.
So good.
I will. Oh my God.
It's so good. And he's like, yeah, I love her. And then he's like,
Yeah, she's like, wrong answer. And then she freaking kills him. It's great.
And that whole thing was like insane because, eventually they reveal where the gun came from and it was like a present from Gina to the twins.
I
Gina bought them.
completely
But
missed
Gina
that.
bought them a gun,
Sure.
and then Gina uses that gun to kill Joey Pants.
Got it.
Because
It's a shame Tim Curry doesn't make it into this episode.
Yeah, I know.
it's so the episode's so crazy. Eventually, they give Nika / Chucky like robot
arms.
What?
Yeah.
Because the whole thing was that like Glenda was gonna kill their mom, Tiffany / Jennifer Tilly. I know this. People who are
So wait,
listening are probably
Because
like,
Chucky
so
is now so mad. He's like, to him, Chucky and Tiffany are totally on the outs right now.
Because
Yeah, and so Chucky is trying to convince Glenda to help him, Nika, kill Tiffany, but then Glenn's like, no, she's our mom,
But does Chucky think that it was Tiffany that killed all of the people, like all of the Chuckies that were in the van?
I don't know if he knows about.
I don't know if that even matters
Yeah.
to him at this point.
It's everything that happened in Cult and Seed.
I think he's just mad that he's stuck inside Nika and like.
Well, and she also like kind of chose Nika over him.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So yeah, she pulls this gun with her robot arm and tries to shoot her, and the bullets are not there because they were used already on Joey.
Hey, listeners, if you have, this is actually we might do a bonus episode. If you have Chucky lore questions for us, we will dig into them and discuss them.
We're not even like authority.
I know, but I feel like that it would be great if you have questions. Email us, tweet us, and if we get enough of them, we will discuss them because there is so much dense Chucky lore.
There are probably whole podcasts.
You know
Chucky,
what?
right?
I don't think there are.
Really? There's gotta be. Okay, so.
But we'll be happy to dig into it.
I am very interested, though, as to what's going on with Glenn and Glenda because they're just opening up so many questions. And we can kind of. Did you have anything else to say about episode 4?
Yeah. Well, there's more things. There's more things I want to say because it's like so. It ends with like Nika. Escapes,
right?
And it's revealed that Kyle
does she roll down a hill or
she kind of does. She wheelchairs.
She can finally
because she has
use
robot
her wheelchair
arms.
again because she has robot arms. Yeah,
and she gets like a van.
Where do the robot arms come from?
I don't know.
She just is like, give me my arms.
Yeah, I think Glenn and Glenda made them.
Okay. I think it was part of their plan. Yeah. So she escapes in this crazy scene, and we find out that the van's being driven by Kyle. Who is alive.
Yeah, because didn't they
her
blow up?
Yeah, we last saw her, Kyle getting blown up.
Yeah.
Because she like went into some house that was...
She was there with the kid, the brother.
Yeah, and it was like, set up with explosives. And
okay.
So we thought she was dead.
She's alive. She's met up with Glenn and Glenda, and then they escape with Nika.
Yep, they escape. And then like the episode ends with, like, if that wasn't meta enough for you, it goes even further. It comes back to the talk show.
Okay.
And
right.
like there was this whole thing like,
okay, what there's
one more guest star.
There's this guest star from what sport do you think this guest star is from?
Oh boy.
I did not know this person.
No, me neither. I don't know. They're
the WNBA.
Oh, I thought
you got one letter right. It was the WWE.
Oh, okay.
And it's
WWE superstar Liv Morgan. Do you know who that is?
Well, they literally show a clip of this. She went on a podcast and said, I want to get killed by Chucky.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so she does.
Yes. There's this hilarious moment, where, Chucky is like sitting on her lap
in the talk show format.
In the talk show,
yeah.
And he was like, he's commenting on the show like, they were worried about this episode that people would be mad that like they didn't get to see Chucky kill anybody, and I didn't get to use up my 10 allotted F-bombs per episode. And she's like, you only get 10 F-bombs, and so they play the clip that she wants to get killed by Chucky, and he pulls out a knife and kills her.
And then probably says fuck 10 times.
Yeah. I actually have a clip here, which let me pull it up here. It's so funny.
This concludes our very special episode of Chucky. Tune in again next week as I continue to torture those dipshit kids. Good night and sweet dreams.
So yeah, he's like stabbing her like fuck, and then at the very end he goes fuck. So funny.
That's amazing.
It was like I was like bravo to this episode. I mean, it's like a wild swing, and definitely for people. This is the one that I was like, wow, this is really for people who have like fully dove into.
For those following along at home,
to all the Chucky.
It was a fun bottle episode. I don't want to get into the talk show framing device for like every episode, though. I hope.
Oh no, I think it's just. I bet it's just for this because that clearly is
because they kind of did that in the finale too.
Oh yeah,
like it wasn't the same talk show, but they had him like in a framing device talking to the audience. But
that's right,
yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it's fine. I don't want them to overuse it. But by the way, if saying that you want to be in the Chucky movie on a podcast is like the only if that's a sure deal, then I for sure want to be in a Chucky movie. Yeah,
I'd like to get killed by Chucky. Sure.
Yeah. Why not?
I mean, that's an honor. It's an honor.
It's an honor,
right?
Yeah. Well, I think we already talked a little bit about episode 5, but episode 5 goes back to the
split format,
mostly at the school. We learned that like someone has taken like the guy,
Liam Neeson,
the one kid's body who got
Trevor.
punched through. Trevor.
Yeah.
His body's disappeared. That's a mystery.
Buff Chuck.
Everyone's mad that the
kids are split.
Yeah, Devin always gets caught like doing something terrible, and it looks like he was like stabbing Chucky on the wall and all this stuff.
Yeah, he keeps getting blamed for all the gayness and all the Chucky things.
Yeah.
We learn like just to kind of go through some of the main reveals. We learned that we see that Meg Tilly is finally getting suspicious of Tiffany and like trying to quiz her on memories of Jennifer Tilly's memories. And we learned that the Tiffany doll with Jennifer Tilly is actually also at that house
in a cage.
Yeah.
And she's been
despite all her rage.
She's been back there writing checks.
Writing checks and playing poker essentially online.
Yeah. And like cuz there's been all these jokes about Jennifer Tilly running out of money and everything.
Yeah.
And eventually in that episode, Meg gets killed.
She does.
Which is sad.
She's also now canonically dead.
Yep. Meg
but this is
dead.
like for Glenn, they are very shocked by like what's transpiring with Tiffany, and then they finally realize that like Jennifer Tilly is not their mom.
I love that moment when like they catch her and Tiffany's like, it isn't what it looks like. And Glenn is like, what do you mean? I don't even know what to think of what it looks like.
Yeah.
What is happening here?
Oh, there was also in the dinner party a long discussion about what you call your non-binary.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they listed off like 5 different words for like nibbling, and I don't know what the other ones were, but yeah, they went over that too. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. I think this actor that's playing Glenn or Glenda is like actually really good to be able to pull off this insane situation. But yeah, it's kind of left that we don't see Glenda or Kyle or Nika this episode. We just kind of see Glenn kind of trying to help their mom and then finding out what's really going on.
They get introduced to the Glenn Glenda doll.
Yes.
That comes.
It's very emotional, actually. So, we'll see what happens. I think that this, like I said, the Chekhov's wedding bell, if you got an extra doll that is not possessed floating around, you've got Glenn and Glenda that don't quite feel at home in their human bodies, but don't want to both be put back together in the Glenn doll. So perhaps Glenda goes to the doll or they split. You've also got Nika floating around with a very limited no, that's not the right word I'm looking for. She has no limbs. So her or the Chucky that's in there may want to exit into another doll and or body.
Or robot legs.
Yeah, and now you've got Tiffany and Jennifer Tilly still hanging around.
You're describing a reality real estate show
right.
called Doll Swap.
Yeah, I just really, we kind of, the episode ends with, we see the Colonel is the bald Chucky.
Yeah, and he is a Colonel Kurtz kind of, yeah.
Andy is still alive, and also the therapist is in on it.
Yeah.
It's in a cabin in the woods, I guess.
Do you think the therapist is going to be someone?
I don't think so. She's just like, I think
she's gonna be like the social. She's gonna be like Andy's
reason.
social worker from back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. I think she was also involved in the school.
Yeah,
when
she's the one that
Charles
had them
was,
go to that school. Yeah. Oh,
she
okay.
was
When Charles Lee was
she's
there.
old enough to have. So she clearly has a relationship with him because she's saying like, "Charlie, what are you doing?" Like,
okay.
So I think that's why she's helping him, but. I am very curious about what's going to end up happening with the Belle doll. There's only
someone is going in that doll.
Yeah. Someone is going in, or someone could already.
Joey
be.
Pants.
I don't think someone's in there already.
Pants.
No one's in there yet. I think it's an empty vessel. Like, because they also made a big point to say like, oh, it's really rare, and there's not that many of these, and blah blah blah. But I mean, I'm just like,
do we think Lex is going to end up?
I was going to say maybe one of our main characters.
What they may, yeah. But the Nika, like. She needs to catch a break. Like, this is a lot. I mean, she's now been tortured for like over 2 years, half the time Chucky, no limbs.
Well, she's got robot arms now, so
She has robot arms, but she was stuck with Tiffany for all that time.
It's like a metaphor for her dad's legacy.
Yeah, and she wait, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to agree with that. Right? Yeah.
Sorry.
They remind you in this episode, actually, that Nika, even if she does escape, that the police and all of the authorities still blame her for all the Chucky kills in those two movies.
That's right.
So she can't even if she escapes, she's like wanted in 5 states. She's a federal criminal.
Yep.
So
yeah, I love that they've just carried everything on. And there's only 3 episodes left after this. So, we're going to get that conclusion soon. And, man, I honestly, at this point, I hope they just keep going with another season.
Yeah, why not? Shoot.
But, I don't know. Do we want to do a rating system for this, or we want to wrap it up?
I think we wrap it up. I don't know if we can rate an unfinished season.
No, I'll just say that I do think it is stronger than the first season because it is finally like leaning more into just the lore that the people, the fans and people like us who have seen everything, want to do. And the kids are still there, and I do care about them because I did see them go through all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
I like the kids.
I think it's like getting a better balance. Like the first season was so much of the kids, and you had to kind of tease like, oh, Nika's around, Tiffany's around, Andy's around. But now we just know who's around, and we're just getting everybody, and we're getting these Chucky variants, Loki type things, which is fun. It's always going to be fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think Chucky as a character is just endlessly entertaining to me, because the voice work is so good and the puppetry is amazing. Like, there's moments where it's just like, wow, that feels like a real character, and like they're, the kids will be like holding him and he's still acting and everything. It's just like so well done. And yeah, I agree. Like they had this first season that was really all about like cool Chucky kills. There's been a bit less of them this season, but they've really dove into.
I have a feeling the last 3 episodes are going to get real bloody.
Yeah, I'm sure they really dove into the lore.
I want a season 3 just for the meta Megan jokes that will come out of it.
Yes, that's right. Oh man. All right. Well, we're going to keep watching it.
The other thing too is like, I can't believe this is the same network that forced that Bring It On movie to have no blood and no F words and no nothing.
That's true.
Like what? What's
it's got to be on. Yeah.
I just don't understand.
That's just got to have to do with like who's the general audience for Bring It On in general.
Or I still think it's some weird cable.
Yeah, it's something. There are numbers driving this that we don't know anything about somehow, but it still just seems weird.
Because they let them have $5 or $10
$10 per episode. Yeah,
which is crazy.
So
yeah,
they got to kill Joey Pants.
Yeah,
and the other movie just got to make a Kirkland.
Kirkland
jokes. That's it. That's as hard as they can go. Well, I love it. We'll watch the next few episodes. We probably won't talk. We probably won't talk about it again here until it comes back for a season 3 maybe, or if something crazy happens, we might bring it up.
I will say, like I said, I repeat my call for listeners. If you have questions about Chucky lore, send them to us. We might do a bonus episode where we dive into it and try to explain. Who better than us?
Yeah.
Dom Mancini.
Well, Dom Mancini, you can write in as well.
Oh man. I don't know if he would like our podcast or what, but we love the character. It's great.
We do.
Anyways, I think that's going to bring us to the end of our look into episode 1 through 5 of Chucky season 2 on USA/Syfy. And next week, actually,
more lore
coming. So next week on Wednesday the 16th, the first 2 episodes of The Santa Clauses premiere on Disney Plus. We'll be watching those 2 and then getting an episode out to you guys the week after that. So 2 weeks from now, we'll have The Santa Clauses, but it actually premieres next week from when you're hearing this. So I'm excited for that. Tim Allen is back. They put out the trailer.
Juliet.
It looks fun. Yeah, Juliet's back. Everyone's back.
We're going to finally figure out what happened with that polar bear.
Yeah. We need to know, how is it on the island?
If Juliet is in the same frame as a polar bear, I will just instantly die.
Oh boy, that would be great. That'd be great. But yeah, we're ready. We're ready to dive into the holiday season here. It's coming. But before then, thanks again for listening, and everybody. Eliz, where can they find us?
Yeah, send us those Chucky questions and any other emails to sequelrights@gmail.com, or find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at sequelrights.
And if you found this podcast on this snowy lawn out front, then it is now upon you to share that podcast or rate and review it. Otherwise, you become the Sequel Rights podcasters yourselves.
That's right.
A fate worse than death.
Yeah. there arose such a ladder.
Yeah.
Yes. Rate and review us wherever you're listening. We very much appreciate it. Despite our earlier product placement for Ocean Spray, we do not have ads. And so anything you can do to share the podcast, we deeply appreciate it.
That's right. And we'll see you guys in a couple weeks for the Santa Clauses.
Try to push me down on my own playground. Good luck.